Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, what it do, what it is.
What it is, big man, are you alive and kicking?
I don't know if I'm kicking. I'm definitely alive. Went to the gym this morning, so like literally my legs just feel like jelly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. So with leg day, the day after, you're going to feel it hard. So on Friday, you'll be walking like someone put something where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, it's the best way to get over that muscle soreness, ironically, is to get back into the gym, which is it kind of gives credence to those professional drinkers who are like, no, how you cure a hangover is to drink some more. So it's a full circle thing.
I actually saw on the Mac G's podcast and chill, they had like the guy who created Tomorrow Tonight, which is like a hangover remedy thing you should drink before drinking alcohol heavily. It basically explains how hangovers work. So that thing is a myth. Eoguti, if you're hungover, you need to drink some
Oh,
more.
really?
What you should have. Yeah. So what basically it does is it just keeps you drunk, and
Oh,
then it stops you from experiencing the hangover symptoms. The hangover symptoms is your body trying to get you back to normal. It's your liver,
so you're prolonging
trying
that
to expel.
process.
Yeah, you're just prolonging the process. It will still hit you, but you're just riding the wave, so to speak.
Okay. Well, professional drinkers, let us know. I'm inclined to agree with Senna, but I'm sure there's a few people listening to you now who are like, no, I disagree completely. It worked for me.
It's not me. Lamia just saw it from this guy who's like an expert in treating hangovers. So water's your friend. The tomorrow tonight thing is your friend. Electrolytes are your friend.
Yeah.
Electrolytes are your friend, and sparkling water apparently.
Really?
So yeah, man. Yeah, I hear so.
I know
That's your
people
guy.
who take, I've heard Uguti, when you get home, just take some painkillers before you sleep and you'll be good. I've heard drink one
Yeah,
liter of water before you get home. I've
yeah,
heard, eat something greasy before you sleep.
yeah.
What's the other one? Oh yes, I was told about these like charcoal tablets you can get like at Clicks,
Yes.
and apparently they soak up the
So
alcohol, what tintin, and I'm like, yay, that's interesting.
so three out of those four solutions. Well, how many did you list? Five.
I
So
don't
only
even keep
about
in
three
count.
of those are useful. So water and the charcoal, I guess,
Yeah,
work. But apparently, fast food doesn't work because it's not good for your body.
interesting,
It's just filling, but it's filling your body with like junk.
but it works.
And then pain tablets aren't good in the long term. Basically, you shouldn't just be oversubscribing on painkillers.
But again, it works.
So yeah, I guess short term painkillers will
Yeah.
work, but I think long term it just might not be good for you.
Okay.
But you should check it out. I think it's just Google Tomorrow Tonight MacG interview. The guy explains how their thing works. I think it's just an electrolyte solution.
So just some energy and you'll be alright.
maybe. Who knows?
Okay, interesting. All right, guys. Welcome back. It is another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo,
My name is Senna.
and yeah, we're here for a good time, not a long time. There's so much to get into. It was an explosive week, Mr. Moy. Explosive. With a capital E. And it's some things that we always knew, but it was just certain details that we have now discovered as a country. Hey, yeah,
Ziakala.
nah, Ziakala boy, Ziakala. I think let me see here. Let me look at our rundown. I forgot to check in on our rundown to see what we're looking at. Let me. Swarm. Is this the Adam where that Dage is getting her back blown out? At the show?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Okay, let's start there. What's going on? Did you see the scene and you were amazed, or is it whack? Like I've been my wife actually started watching it I think yesterday,
Really?
She didn't really get through episode one, which is, again, I usually judge it by that. If she's like
Yeah.
going through it like binging, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe this might be something to take note of. But when she's struggling, there is like it was a good like 3 hour period of her trying to watch the
Yeah.
show, and it just didn't work. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that?
It's a 7-part series. It is. It's
What's the
basically
genre?
a huge. It's crime, thriller, suspense, serial killer vibes, right?
Okay.
So Swarm, right, is meant to be a play on the term hive. It
Hive.
tells the story, yes, hive.
Okay.
This is where it'll make sense. It tells the story of a young woman who is obsessed with a celebrity. And over the course of the episode, she basically murders anyone who dares speak ill of said celebrity. It's an
Oh wow.
obsession. She follows the celebrity everywhere. She would kill for this person's tickets. She's willing to join a cult to get tickets to see this person. Whenever anyone criticizes said celebrity, her and her fellow internet, minions who support said celebrity basically come for that person. But it shows that this particular person goes a step too far and starts killing and starts engaging in very crazy behavior, all for the sake of standing up for, you know, said celebrity. This celebrity happens to be a famous musician. Um, she's obviously a female musician.
Okay.
And if you
So the killer is a dude
obviously, no, it's a girl. It's a girl who's obsessed.
with another girl,
It's a girl who's obsessed with a famous singer, right?
female singer.
Female singer.
Hey. Okay.
Now, the term swarm, when we're referring to a swarm, we're saying a swarm of
Bees.
bees. And bees live in. You're getting it?
I understand. I understand. No, no, no. I'm there. I'm there. I'm with you.
Bees live in a hive. This was one big shade at the beehive, Mr. Maps.
I
So
see.
essentially, the parallels of the whole thing are, if I had to put it in real life, there's a young woman who is obsessed with Beyonce and goes after anyone who dares to speak ill of Beyonce, as far as killing them.
So essentially, Nat and Co.
You said that, not me. But yeah, right. Essentially, that's what it is, right? So I came across the series just on the internet, right? From that first video of is it Chloe Bailey?
Yeah.
She was getting her background, like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then
That's what caught
I
your
went
attention.
on. And then I went. Then it was trending, right? Everyone talking about Swarm and Swarm. I'm like, ah, okay, cool. So I said to my partner, I'm like, hey, yo,
Yeah.
let's watch this, right? I saw XYZ online, might be interesting. She's like, oh yes, I did.
Did you
Let's
tell her
catch
what
it.
clip that you saw that inspired you? What
She
scene?
actually said she saw it. I
Oh.
was like, ah, okay,
Oh.
let's watch it.
Alright. Is he a little
So
freaky in the Moya household? I see you.
it's not like that. And then I basically said, no, I saw it trending on Twitter. So I actually didn't know when I saw the clip, which the clip is from that series. But I saw people talking about the series. So I'm like, ah, actually, this was trending. Let's see it. And then she was like, ah, actually, that clip series, let's watch it. So then it was on Amazon Prime. So we watched it on Prime. And then yeah, man, we got through it in 2 nights. 'Cause
Are
the thing
they
was,
1 hour atoms?
yeah, 45 minutes, 7
Okay.
episodes.
Okay.
It's not long. But anyways, Donald Glover is the one who directed it. So he created it, directed it, and everything. So now I went to online and saying he hates black women, he hates Beyonce fans, he doesn't like Beyonce. And then, obviously the Hive feel like they're being attacked and that they're being subbed and that they're not crazy as they're being made out to be, blah blah blah. You know how it is online, Mr. Maps. But in my opinion, when I'm watching the whole thing, I'm like, there's no way he produces that. I think Beyonce kind of may have given her go ahead
Okay.
for them to make it, just to highlight how crazy some people are online. Because it actually sometimes that fan base, ngani kulobu stan culture in general,
Ulobu
there's
what?
something that's not quite right. It's not quite right with some people. Like literally, when people like go as far as we will find you and we will kill you, like
Yeah.
that's what some people do like online. That's literally what this whole thing was showing. Uguti, people, when people say they'll find you and they'll kill you, they sometimes mean it,
On
and
some Liam Neeson shit.
they'll go that extra step to do that. So it's interesting. You should definitely watch it. I would recommend people watch it. It's not for entertainment value, but just for it's eye opening, just into how maybe our celeb fandom can sometimes go a stretch too far. And it's when you're watching it like from the outside, it does look
No,
weird.
there definitely is. I think a huge problem when it comes to celebrity culture. It is it's very dangerous, right? And I don't even know if I should just call it celebrity culture because like there's fan culture. I think is
Stan
way
culture, yeah.
it's a problem because you have like for example you have the Star Wars franchise where actors have audibly said, I don't want to do any Star Wars movies because the fans are so toxic. Because it's just, it
They're
gets,
crazy.
yeah, they get out of control. Directors have said, I don't want to direct Marvel movies because, I don't want to direct DC movies because the fans are just out of control and they send,
Hey, people will be like, you
death
ruined
threats
Superman.
and, yeah, no, people take this shit way too seriously. Even like Chelsea fans, they were sending death threats to Potter, right? And it's like I'm not the biggest Potter fan right now, but I would never
Yeah.
go to the extent of like, oh, I wish your wife and kids would die. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
It's like
so ridiculous
when
how
Moyes was at
invested some
United.
people are.
When Moyes was at United, his daughter had to leave social media just because she was getting like a whole lot of abuse after
Yeah,
United
I feel
attendance.
like being the relative of a celebrity or someone really
you
famous is
like she was
terrible.
catching strays, bro. Like she was just a young girl when he was, managing Everton. She just had a social media. No one gave a fuck.
Yeah,
She just did whatever she did,
yeah.
posted her pictures, and then moved on. And then the moment he took over United, and United is like next level, you have these crazy fans who'd be coming after and some will rape you, tell your
Bruh,
father to do this, will kill you, and then eventually she just had to get off Twitter because it was just too much.
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy the extent to which people would go and it's like random strangers and it's just like there's so many instances of it that I can we can just go on and on and on of how toxic it gets. ESPN will post, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo is officially the most capped player in international football. That's great, right? Shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo. And then you go through the comments. Like I just do it just
Yeah.
to humor myself. It's a war. Someone will post, "Hey, but Messi is XXXXX," and then someone will cuss them out, and it just becomes this
Yeah.
like cesspool of like why
Yeah.
can't an individual just get their flower? Like we can argue, right? We can argue, and let's have fun with it because it's a game. It's meant to be fun, but like especially because at the end of the day, the people that you're busy fighting over, they don't care. They don't know you
They really don't
exist.
care.
Like it's like, yo, bro, Cristiano's in his own bubble making millions of dollars, same as Messi, same as Potter, same as Beyonce and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. They're all making millions, fam. And they're just living their lives with their, wives and families and kids. It's like wait, you don't matter, fam. Like it's not that deep. It's
No one
how
cares.
yeah, like how can you care more than the people on the pitch or on the stage, right? Like it's just how it doesn't make any sense to me, and it's just like that's how I'm like, yeah, bro. Some people are dangerous, bro, because it's you know to fall in love with someone to that extent. We watch these movies or Lokuzen. Um, what's that movie? There was a Beyonce movie way back years ago. I think it's called Obsessed.
It was a Beyonce movie.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
one she was in
Yeah, the
with
one she was in.
Idris Elba.
Yes, I think it was with Idris. Long time ago, maybe let's say Ubo 2012. So movies like that where you just like you think people don't really act like that. It's a movie. We're just here to be entertained by Hollywood. God, the people actually do live that life. There's real people who are that obsessed, and yeah, it's cringe to be fair. So
It
now,
is
I
cringe.
mean,
It is
with
cringe.
what you said, I'm really motivated to watch Swarm. It's just that currently I've been watching Night Agent.
The Night Agent. Yeah, is it good? I've just seen it in the
Nah,
suggestions.
it's good.
Okay, so maybe I'll start that tonight.
It was recommended by Togo, and Togo's never led me astray in terms of shows. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's definitely worth the watch at the end of the day. But anyway, Mr. Moy, you can have the final word on Swarm.
No, it's Beyonce inspired. Like I think if you're watching that and then you feel like you're attacked or you feel like they're attacking you,
Check into rehab.
check into rehab.
Samsung Guchen.
Because it just because it just shows the dark lens that people would go to for celebrities, and that the Ronaldo thing you mentioned, right? It's also, and maybe we're being harsh on people that are actual fans, because I think there are very niche parts of the internet where a lot of these accounts exist, right? It's always people who have a Beyonce Avi or a Cristiano Avi or a Messi Avi, or people who won't have their own profile picture
Yeah,
there. It's just celebrity. Maybe it's a United logo, United player, and it's anonymous, and then they're spewing the most ridiculous things on the internet you'll ever see, right?
yeah.
Because that anonymity gives you confidence and strength and whatever it is, right? So I would say if you're watching Swarm and you feel like, hey, this is a sub, check yourself now, eh? And if you've got a burner account where you're letting weird things fly, maybe delete.
Sagubamba. We'll catch
Yeah,
you
and
one
the
day.
other thing that you said last week, actually, Uti, Twitter now has us all in sort of one classroom.
Yeah,
The For You column or the For You section of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I've actually found it weird. So I've seen tweets that I love there, which is great. I ordinarily wouldn't see it if it's under the following section,
Yeah.
right?
Where are
So
you
that
primarily?
feature, where I'm primarily on the For You,
Okay.
because I know what Tab was tweeting. Like you know what I mean?
This
Like I know your
nigga.
tweets. It's gonna be Lakers down, Lakers this.
Oh my god.
We're losing this game, we're winning this. You know how it is, right? Chelsea, Potter, Basha Waklima. It's the same thing. Right? I've seen it over and over again. And then even with your wife, right? I'll see her tweets. It's my husband, it's my child. I know basically what my people are tweeting about. Panache there, hey, peanut butter, Basha Waklima.
Hey, 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 hey. Always,
You know what
always.
I mean? So then I'll go through those and then I'll be like, okay, I see what my people are up to. And then I'll come to the For You section and then I'll see the funniest tweets from people I don't follow, right? Which is cool, but then I'll also see the crazy tweets sandwiched in between because Twitter thinks I might want to see this.
Yeah.
And then you'll see crazy obsessed Man United fans going on about weird stuff, right? And you're like, hey, okay, maybe some of these people need to have some shy when they come onto Elon's internet. But yeah, that's all, Mr. Maps.
Now Elon's fucking up the algorithms, bruh. There was some shit that I was seeing there on my Twitter the other day, and I was like, what's going on here? This is not what I signed up for. So yeah, he needs to sort that out. But speaking of social media, we'll keep on that theme to keep the train moving. There was a very, very interesting congressional hearing regarding the safety of probably one of the largest social media apps out there. Most, at least, it's the most fun in my opinion. TikTok, and it was a movie. So basically, there's been rumors that had been swirling for a few months, few weeks, that the US was thinking about banning TikTok completely. So the CEO of TikTok, I know his last name is Chu. I can't even. I don't even know why I'm looking him up because I know I can't even pronounce the name. But anyway, so he flew into America to go and deal with Congress. And have you ever seen Succession? Have you ever watched the show?
No, I haven't watched Succession. No.
So to any fans of Succession, this was exactly like the scene where cousin Greg was being grilled in Congress. The way it was that so to set it up for you, Senna, there's a scene where I can't remember what the so it's this huge conglomerate, right? So like let's say I don't know, Disney, right? The Disney empire. The CEO of Disney is being sued because of malpractice. I think it was what did they think? Let's just say it was corporate abuse of employees, right? This is what the Congress wants to know about Utibe Gwenzagalan in your company, right? And then this is a serious matter. But then there's a character in the family, because it's a family business, right? Character in the family who's just he's a cousin of the main family, but he's an idiot, bro. He's a buffoon. Like just I don't know what character you can think of who's just we know that this one is a very unserious character. He's the comic relief in the show, right? Unintentional comic relief. They put that guy up on the stand to defend a company the size of Disney, right? And they knew Uti he was going to give very unserious answers, right? As a tactic to try and slow down any legal ramifications that were going to happen to the company. So anyway, go back to real life. Except in terms of CEO or TikTok being cousin Greg. Cousin Greg was the I don't know 5-6 different Congress people, men and women, who were grilling the CEO. So I don't know if you saw any TikToks and stuff. I posted a few of them. They were asking some of the most ridiculous questions to this guy. Said it was so funny. Like so first I saw the spoofs of what happened, right? So I didn't think it was that much of a big deal, but I saw the spoofs of what happened. And I'm thinking, okay, people are making jokes of it and they're, acting it out, asking silly questions. So the first spoof says, oh, does your TikTok, if I have TikTok on my phone, does it access my home Wi-Fi network? And then I chuckle. I'm like, oh, what a dumbass question. But again, it's a TikTok creator. They're trying to be funny, right? Kanti, me I now bump into the actual live, inquisition of this guy. And they genuinely asked. There was a congressperson who asked, who was like, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network? Is he going to access it? And like you could see, this poor CEO, Mr. Chu, he was baffled, bro. He's just like, if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, then, and then this other one was like, hey, if my pupils are dilated, like, why is it looking for my eyes? I'm like, well, we kind of need to know where your eyes are for the filters that we use on TikTok. Like, it was, bro, the absolute dumbest questions that you could. And then one had the audacity to even say, does TikTok, like, support genocide? And I'm like, guys, like, what the hell? Anyway, it was ridiculous. So anyone who wants to know more about what I'm talking about, just look up TikTok shutdown. You go on TikTok and just say TikTok shutdown or TikTok ban. If you just look that up, so many different from the actual thing and from the spoofs, which are ridiculously funny. But anyway, the real thing around this whole TikTok ban, right? So other countries, I think France, France, UK, India, and I believe Canada have already banned government members. So if you have a government issued phone, you cannot put TikTok on that phone. So what they're basically trying to put out there, the propaganda that they're putting out there is, if you, because TikTok is, again, more context, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, right? And it's basically it's a fight against China. TikTok is caught up in it, right? And what they're saying is China can access the user data that TikTok has, which is names, addresses, whatever data that they collect on all of their users. So TikTok can access all of that because in China, apparently there's a law that says China can go to a Chinese company, and say, turn over your data. And the company is not at liberty to say the government made us turn over our data. So again, you know how things are a bit dodgy in China in terms of ama laws, land. So that's basically what they were propping it up as. But what TikTok was arguing with the US is that, again, they had some, I think Project Texas is what they called it, that US data is basically being stored in the US. It's not in China. And the guy reiterated, there's no evidence that the Chinese government has accessed any data that we know of. Like
Yeah.
it's not, we don't have any record of that. So obviously, again, it wasn't even an intelligent discussion. There was only one black congresswoman who came at him for something legit, which was, TikTok has been under fire for suppressing among black creators, right? And they're not
Yeah.
being paid properly or something like that. So that was a legitimate like line of questioning. Where I was like, aha, okay, this makes sense. Everything else was absolutely ridiculous. So the actual story behind it is basically TikTok is, taking the lunch money of the Silicon Valley apps, Facebook, whatever, Google,
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, all of these other guys. So what Zuckerberg and co have done is because in US politics, right, it's all about where the money is coming from for your politicians. And the tech companies have a lot of money to splash around. So Zuckerberg and co pull up and be like, yay, 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 yay. You TikTok lay, yeah, shoop. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Get these niggas out of here. I don't care how, but get them out of get them out of the market. That's it. So now that's basically why everyone is kind of it's looking like the Democrats and the liberals are coming together because they're in those guys' pockets. That's essentially, long story short, what's happening. So they're using, that political agenda, or at least the tech companies are using that political agenda to get TikTok ousted from the US because they have 150 million active US users. That's half the country.
Yeah.
Half the country.
That's a lot of people.
It's a
So
lot of people.
I can believe, I think I believe both sides of what you've just mentioned. So the first being, or the second rather being Guti, maybe the tech companies of Silicon Valley have lobbied for politicians to step in and kind of rein TikTok in because obviously they've got like a ridiculous amount of users. They're very unrestricted in terms of what they do. So their features they just allow you to do more than Instagram and Facebook and all the other
I
platforms ever
don't think
could.
so. I think the most X-rated app is Twitter. I honestly
No, no,
believe
no.
Twitter is
I
the
think in
worst.
terms of I think in terms of video creation, not in terms of just sharing stuff, but I think in terms of video creation, I think TikTok just offers a lot more. Even in the beginning, right? When for them to tap into the market the way they did, they infringed on a lot of IP just in terms of content that was out there, music, videos. Like they probably didn't even seek like proper clearances before users could use that in their clips, right? And even all
Yeah,
the voiceovers. By the time Instagram introduced Reels, probably
yeah,
like a year later,
just
TikTok
too late.
had it was too late, right? They had like a huge market share. So I can see that side of it. There is an aspect of the data the data stuff that I can understand as well.
Yeah,
So in the sense that maybe the Chinese through TikTok could try and use it as some form of surveillance of, the United States. Right? Maybe you've got US citizens on TikTok, then you can say, okay, cool. What personal information do these people have? What are they doing? What are they using? And
yeah.
then the Chinese can do surveillance of the US through that. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we were seeing news about balloons, right? They were using balloons to monitor what was happening in the US. That was weird as well. Or it could just be American paranoia, right? You know
Yeah,
how these guys are like,
which
Iraq
I
has
highly
nuclear weapons.
suspect
Let's go
it's
there.
American paranoia because America
Yeah.
functions on that paranoia. That's what they use to get AMA bills passed, to get military spending, all this other shit. Because I'm like, okay, fine. China is this huge power, right? It's it, they're not messing around, and neither are they saints. We all know China are not saints, right? No one is trying to say they're saints, but it's just the way that it's because TikTok has grown so big and so influential globally.
Yeah.
That's where all of these guys are now like, whoa, 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 whoa. So I think it's more of a fear of if China decided to, not necessarily what they are, but it's just like, this is a
Yeah.
problem. Because if the Chinese were like, you know what, bruh, give us this data.
Do you
then
think China could
you
decide to
know.
do that?
They
From
could. I think. I
your
mean,
own
again,
opinion.
if the CEO is correct, Uti know if they're doing Uti, okay, fine. U.S. data stored in the U.S., European data stored in Europe. Something along those lines, and then therefore it follows data protection laws of those regions or countries.
Yeah.
Then China really has no reason to like want to look at that data because they'll probably it'll be most African countries where like we don't really care. right? There's no war that we're fighting. There's no Cold War that we're fighting in Africa. We own Africa to be fair, right? So those type of things is what I'd be looking at. So I'd need to actually look into where's the data stored, and if what the US is saying is true, then okay, maybe hey, like if that's how Chinese laws are set up, then that's how Chinese laws are set up. Because I was even
Yeah.
reading in an article, there's a BBC article, city here, they in like New Zealand or something, they've said any Huawei Wi-Fi routers, really, we're getting rid of them. Everything, we're just everything Chinese as food, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's deep, right? And and what's funny is like in a market like Australia, I think Australia, South Africa, and the Middle East, I think are some of the biggest car buyers of Chinese car brands, our Haval and whatnot. So like Haval is popping off in Australia right now. Are they going to stop importing Havals because those are Chinese vehicles? Like where are we going to draw the lines at the end of the day with this whole situation with China?
I don't know, dog. I don't know because I think in my opinion, let the if it's not Chinese, it'll be someone else, right? So
Yeah, it
just
could be
let
Russians.
that let people. Yeah, it could be Russians. It could be I don't know who else that the US hates. But it could be all these countries. I think TikTok is just unfortunate that it was a Chinese company. Ultimately, they're just a social media platform.
They're owned by a Chinese company called
Yeah,
ByteDance, right? But
yeah,
like technically, and then they asked us on something about China specifically, and it's like, firstly, I'm Singaporean, so they were just asking about can you like you yourself, if China comes to you, what as a Chinese citizen, and I'm just like, you guys couldn't even do the basic research to know where this guy is from. Like you seem so much more ignorant. Of which personally, I don't know how he did it. I would have cussed him out. Like genuine, Senna, go and watch some of these videos, bro. Like
yeah,
it is insane how ignorant a lot of these Congress people were, and I'm just like, these are the lawmakers in the U.S., bro. Like that's the part that scared me the most. I was like, you know what? And the thing is, one thing he kept referring to, which was honestly the biggest thing, is it's an industry problem. It's not a TikTok problem, which is Uti, the terrible challenges that can hurt kids. Like that's what they were really like trying to highlight. Uti, oh, US kids are dying, right? They're dying because of these silly TikTok challenges. And again, I don't think it's a TikTok problem. It's an industrial problem. I agree with the guy because there's at least two live shootings, mass murders I can remember that were televised on Facebook. Two. There's probably
bro.
more, right? But there's two where I can remember vividly. Uti, this happened. This shit happened live, Facebook Live, fam. And
Remember
and
when
and
Facebook had those beheading videos? That was dark.
yeah,
That was a very dark time on the internet.
bro, and it all stems with because Facebook I think by number of users, I think Facebook is still the biggest in the world. So I what I didn't understand was there's no way you can go for TikTok, which is huge, but not go for Facebook, because everything that they complain apart from the China conversation, everything else that they tried to focus on to pin this guy on was an issue I could easily replace the word TikTok and put Facebook easily. And that's what I didn't understand. And that's where you see the hypocrisy of it at the end of the day. If I was him, I'd have sat there because he did bring up the auntie they were saying, "Guti, how can you assure us Guti China is not going to access our data?" And he's like, "Well,
Yeah,
again, the US doesn't even have a good track record of that. Remember Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, everything with the whole Trump campaign and them manipulating, our votes through social media. That had nothing to do with TikTok. That was being done where? On Facebook. And that's an American company. So these things, like, that's where I was like, it didn't seem genuine to me. Uti, these are concerns about China. It did not seem genuine at all because everything that they were trying to bring up, it was just kind of like, let's throw everything at the wall. Let's see what sticks, right? To try and get this
yeah.
this bill through. But overall, Senator, do you think that they're actually going to ban TikTok in the US?
No, they won't. Just because the public outcry will be huge.
You seem
For a
okay.
country that I think they will, because the US is big on, oh yeah, we're all about freedom, all about inclusivity. There's so many people that are now making money from TikTok. By doing that, I think you'd be basically trying to pressure them to move on from
But
TikTok
Senna,
and
the
onto
problem
something
is
else. Like,
you
yeah,
just said something key. There's a lot of people making money from TikTok, but guess who's not making money from TikTok? It's those same
Silicon
government
Valley
guys and Silicon
companies
Valley.
and the government guys. Yeah,
So
I mean,
they're not eating, and those are the influencers right at the top, and those are the money makers right at the top. So if those guys are not eating, then they don't really care what the public is doing. Which is Senna small businesses taken off because Senna managed to get 2 million followers on TikTok. Nobody gives a fuck, bro, because the government knows
but
they're not eating.
how do they wanna eat from social media platforms? It's not like they'll eat if Instagram is the one that's leading in terms of like short video creation, right?
They do,
Ultimately,
because
what will
at the end of the
happen is,
day, Instagram's owned by Meta, right? Meta
yeah,
is going to fund those government those campaigns. So if Senna wants to now become MP or whatever, tax breaks for tech companies or whatever you're pushing, right? Guess what? Meta is pumping a couple million into your campaign, right? But then because TikTok does absolutely nothing for the American Congress people or American, members of government, right? That's where they're like, you know what? If our masters in Silicon Valley are saying, hey, keep a local, then they have to do it because those checks from Silicon Valley, they don't want that tap to be closed. You see what I mean? That's
okay,
where the big
okay.
problem is.
I guess the easy solution for TikTok then would be to open their own tab, right? Because it's all a game of gesturing and having someone in your pocket, right? So they could also just start trying to get more MPs and government officials in their pocket and say, right, guys, we're doing XYZ, we're doing ABC, come
But
through.
I think it'll be too tricky in the sense that, like, now imagine if we are running for office, right, on opposite sides, and then you're getting a bag from TikTok. My whole campaign would be the centers being funded by communists. That's literally
Awa.
my whole campaign to all of the Americans, and that will destroy you. That's the problem. So even if they get those donations, it would need to be like some dodgy, what. But again, in these industries, everybody knows everybody's dirty laundry, right? So it would just be, I don't think, unless TikTok, I don't know, because what they're also trying to do is force a sell, but I think maybe that's a bluff, to make that company ByteDance sell TikTok because they know ByteDance would never
Okay.
sell TikTok. But they're like, yeah, so either
So where would they sell it? To an
to anybody who's
American
not
investor or
Chinese, to
something?
any investor that's not Chinese. So
Ah,
that's the whole
okay.
China angle. Do they wanna, they were basically doing an Abramovich, right? In terms of what happened to him with Chelsea, just,
Yeah,
yeah,
try
push him
pushing
out,
him.
sell the shit, sanctions, whatever. In this case, ban TikTok for as long as TikTok is owned by a Chinese company. We will not have TikTok in the US. And I don't know, like, so because there's so many creators that I've seen who, and
Yeah,
again, the other thing that they were focusing on is the algorithm. Apparently the TikTok algorithm is lit, and I believe it because I have such a great
I do
user
though.
experience on TikTok. Like I can flip on IG, and my IG like Lokuzen capacity is maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I can only do, like, at the most consistently 5 to 10 minutes of IG at a time. Then I have to come back in a few hours.
Yeah.
That's me. But on TikTok, bro, like I avoid TikTok sometimes because I could easily spend close to 30 minutes on TikTok because it's like, bro, every video, it's as if someone said, you know what, this right here, this is towel shit. This one, this is good, like,
Yeah.
bro, like, yeah, I'm
But
barely
I mean, it,
laughing.
it and all of that information is taken from your
Yeah,
data, right?
from
From
what I've liked, what
whatever,
I've clicked
anything they can
on.
gather from what you've liked. And it may be just from, someone once said, "Uguti, your phone is listening to you every
Yeah,
time you talk." And then it just, so it could be from really, really
but
invasive
then again, that's an
algorithms,
industrial
which,
issue. If you're that paranoid, ditch your iPhone, right? Ditch your smartphone, because your smartphone, I can say this about everything. The problem is TikTok's algorithm works better than Facebook's algorithm. I can't even stand Facebook. I scroll, I'm like, who the fuck are these people? Like, I don't know what's going on Facebook, right? Twitter, again, I mentioned Uti. I don't know what Musk has been doing. It's just the mess there. Same thing Instagram. How many times have people, I've seen people deactivate. I think Doomy has deactivated his Instagram at least like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 years. It's so much that's going on
yeah,
with Instagram. They're trying to experiment because they're seeing all of the users aware. they're on TikTok,
Yeah.
and the TikTok algorithm seems to be working, and people are blowing up, right? And businesses are being
Yeah.
there's a crazy stat about how many people they employ in America and how much Americans make through TikTok and stuff like that, and visibility.
Yeah.
So again, I think it'll be interesting. I obviously will keep people updated. Guys, look it up if you're that interested. It's a very very kind of wow. It makes you. It kind of sets up what we're about to go into for a little bit now,
Yeah.
which is
I mean, we spoke about it a few months ago, didn't we? About TikTok, Instagram just not being that platform anymore. Just because, I mean, I log onto Instagram, I'm not keen to post anything on the page just because I think the people that are doing the posting are, like influence. They're doing it
yeah.
professionally. It's all curated. It's next level stuff, which I don't think the ordinary person
They've
like
turned
maybe
it
you and
into
me
a
would be able to.
video platform, and I think that's part of why we've had issues with Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that is because basically Facebook was never meant to be what TikTok is. Instagram was never meant to be what TikTok is, right? Neither is Twitter, and they're trying so hard to, like, the reels, for example, to say, hey, we've got TikTok Lite, right? But the thing is, why would I do TikTok Lite if there's already TikTok? That's the thing, so that's what is stifling a lot of these apps. So, like, this was not the reason you conceived this app. It was not for this. You're trying your best to shift, but we teen who've been on Instagram for a minute, that's not why we want Instagram in the first place. You know what I mean? Don't make everything. It's like when Snapchat came up with the filters, Instagram jumped on that shit. So it just hasn't worked as well for these other companies trying to battle TikTok. But again, we'll keep the people them updated. And yeah, now we need to move into the obviously the Zim side of governmental malpractice. There was a documentary that was hyped by Al Jazeera, which is a Qatari-owned news channel, and it was initially meant to come out, I think, beginning of March. They like put out a tweet or something like, "Yeah, we've got them, Zim, Zakala," and then everyone's like, "Whoa, what?" And then, like, I think the next day they were like, wait, we're still editing. Yeah, what Tintin? And then I was like, nah, la. So that's when I lost interest in it initially. When they
Yeah.
said now we're editing and are doing this and the
Do you
third.
know why I didn't lose interest? The ruling party was scrambling. Putting out statements left, right, and center about a documentary no one had seen. So I was
Yeah.
like, no, man, surely there's something
Yeah,
of
no, no.
credibility here.
Typically, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? But then my thing was, so what I mean when I say I lost interest was more so I didn't think I could rely on the information that was going to be given to us from Al Jazeera, because I was like, no, so now people from a certain place are now going to be what trying to negotiate with Al Jazeera and leverage. I know, remove this. Hey, let's this is too incriminating. What. So that's where I was a bit concerned.
So you thought they were a bit censored.
Yeah, I think they were censored. I think there's definitely some things that have been censored out of it. Although what I heard, right, was people saying that it was more on the Dubai side. The Dubai Mbingas were like, hey, yeah. So if that's true, then it's like, okay, fair enough. We can respect that. But anyway, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a documentary by Al Jazeera called the Al Jazeera Investigative Unit called The Gold Mafia, and it goes into how Zimbabwe has become Africa's laundromat, and basically people are laundering money through partly the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, some dodgy white people, and they're using gold to do it. Very, very fascinating stuff, to be very honest with you. I watched it from start to finish, eyes glued to the TV, couldn't believe what I was hearing. Obviously, spaces were opened afterwards. People were there, they kind of like, yeah, Zimbabwe, yeah, with corruption, yeah, Mnangagwa, yeah. So, yeah, it really shook the country globally, right? Within Zim and even outside of Zim. It was huge. Again, all I could say was disappointed but not surprised. That's really what it is. But yeah, Mr. Moy, what were your thoughts and key takeaways from the Gold Mafia documentary?
First things first, nothing about Zimbabwe shocks me. So I wasn't shocked. I think maybe we'd be. I think a lot of us who were shocked, we were acting because now people from other countries are watching. So now we must pretend like we're surprised. Ah, they do. But
Yeah.
we'll like. I think the whole thing, airball, the zamazamas in Zim, the guys who go and they'll dig for diamonds and gold informally, and those are stories that we all knew were out there. I think what we probably didn't know was how involved the Reserve Bank and how close to the presidency it is. That was, I think, a surprise to me because I always thought, it's just a couple of low level ZANU-PF guys that are chowing all these
Low
sheets.
level.
They, dude, like you don't think that is like right there? Like what
Nah,
they said, that
fam.
woman is the
This is
president's niece.
nah, nah, no. This was an inside job. So like that I knew Woody is right at the top. Niggas is eating, but I thought it was something that was so slick it can never be proven. That was my assumption. It was like people can whisper about it, but there's never gonna be a documentary made with Moses Nango being like, right. There was Johannes Banibali, there was Macmillan, there was this guy, Mr. Gold, Gucci, he's the big
Yeah,
boss, he owns it. I'm like, what? Own is giving the
and
Reserve Bank a loan of $250 million to go
bro,
in. Oh,
bro,
bro. I was like,
and the funny thing is, you look at it now, right? When the country went through its dark path, we used to ask ourselves, if these white bros who are still here, why don't they just go and live the better life overseas? They can get
right? Go home, bro.
ancestral visas. You've got relatives there, you've got family there. Like, bro,
Yeah,
you could go settle comfortably in Europe, in Australia, wherever you are, right? Like, but I always ask myself, how come these don't stick around?
yeah,
Like, you hear, no, Banban has a mining company. Like, okay, cool. This has provided another context
yeah,
which I wasn't aware of. Uguti, like these guys are like within, right? Like a lot of these
yeah,
white guys who are still here, the ones that are working with the government, working with the guys who are cleaning the money, taking the gold out the country, bringing it back as US dollars, paying the Reserve Bank, then the Reserve Bank. It's just a lot, right? And that gave another context to it. The other thing that shocked me was in the airport in Zim, they make you take off your shoes, they make you leave your cologne, they make you like your deodorant. You don't go in with it if your bottle has 25 milliliters or more of liquid. You leave it there. And some bros are just walking through with
with tons
stacks
of
of
gold,
gold,
bro.
and then they just they're just walking through.
Yeah, good Zima, bro. Good Zima. That thing made me chuckle so many times. Where I was like, bro, like, and then someone tweeted out it was a fire tweet, absolute fire tweet. And they had said, Uguti, hey, people, and it's black people that love doing this shit. Uguti, hey, look at Amakiwa. Amakiwa start businesses, and then they do this, and this generational wealth. Wow. Black people love to propagate that thing. Like, I've actually never, I don't remember a white person actually saying this shit. Is niggas that love that line. That speech, love that shit. And then, now she was just like, you see? It is
How
generational
some
held Uguti.
motivational, how motivational speakers be like, or not even motivational speakers, just random crypto guys on Twitter, like, I'm not trying to work a 9 to 5, I'm trying to create generational wealth. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like being an entrepreneur in this economic climate, particularly in Africa, it's very, very difficult to just
It's not
be
easy.
genuine unless you're like in tech, right? Unless you're
Yeah.
like in tech and you created the next big thing for the
Yeah.
tech industry. But when just as
Now it
Senamiso,
unintentionally
and you're
shined a
just
light on some of these other mbingas who are very famous on the gram and shit, who flaunt money. And
right.
and it's like it's very unclear, bro, like where is this where is this coming from? But like now we
It
started to
is.
see the cracks in like, okay. Just
It is,
doing it.
and then we had the chat about motivational speakers a while back. I'm like, guys, tell us the whole story, right? Don't tell us half. If you got a loan from your dad or your rich uncle, tell us what I got a loan,
Yeah.
oh, I got a grant, I got a handout, and it's out of my business, and then I was able to move on up. It is very hard to be like a genuine businessman and make some of the money that a lot of these guys are making, and then showing us online. Like it's next level.
Yeah, no, no. It's actually it's unbelievable. And again, for someone to have the guts, Angel, to say, me now, I am. What did he say? I'm the presidential ambassador. I can sign treaties, Engeko. And I was like, oh,
Yay.
what?
Bro, and he's saying this, and also, you know what, right? When you're doing something, and I guess maybe, I'm not sure if it's because we look at it as something very shady. So a lot of, if I'm doing something shady, Tabo, I'm not going to blast at the top of my voice, put people on loudspeaker, and literally say this for anyone who might be listening, right? And just say everything and anything, right?
Yeah.
I would most likely be like, I know, let's talk per side, me and you. And then we can bring in other people.
Yeah.
Make sure all phones are locked away.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're doing something dodgy, that's what you do, right? You say, make sure all phones are locked away. This is whatever security
But
measures
then
in place. Okay, let's
the
do
counter
this.
to that is that people were saying, good to know, it's like, when you've been so successful, like this thing has been working for a minute. This is not the first time, you know what I mean? Like this has been the norm for a very, very long time. Then you puff out your chest because you know you're Teflon. That's what people were saying. This is why, people were able to be caught because they were just kind of like, nah, bro, we've been doing this for years, fam. For years.
It's an arrogance.
Yeah, it's an arrogance. Because also, the thing is, if, again, it's all alleged, right? Because the government and all parties involved deny it. But, like, at the end of the day...
I mean, you but Angel can't deny shit.
Nah, no, for him to speak. But the way that it is, if you have governmental protection, Lawe Sena, you'd have the balls. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like, okay, fine, Lingambamba, so what? So what? Right? Because it's not like all of a sudden the Mies government is going to be like, Sena is unacceptable, da da da.
Yeah.
Unless if it was done in such a way that it was Sena was the Lone Ranger, Sena's been the smuggler. Then, yeah, the Zanu could turn around and Jonathan Moyo you, right? And just be like, Puma, it's late for you. You are the one that got caught. We can't associate with you. But then if it's a thing where it's like, no, Sena's just a wheel in the cog and everything else is the government, like this is what they're doing, this is what they're sanctioning, then yeah, you are Teflon. Because they can't single you out. Because it's like the way that everything was presented. And again, obviously if you read, go on Twitter to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe's page, read the statement they put out, bro. These guys were aggressively shutting down rumors. Hey, it's malicious propaganda. Yeah, blah 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 blah. All this other shit. And
they called it gossip.
and what made me laugh the hardest, right, was the fact that if the government was actually doing the right thing, then we would say, nah, y'all are wildin'. I don't believe you. But the fact that every Zimbabwean watched that or read about it and just said, yeah, I believe it. That's the part. That's the part where it's, as a government, as leadership, that's where you need to reflect and be like, nah, guys, this is messed up. Because if someone just says, if someone came to me with that news, I'd be like, no, what the fuck? Right? Like, nah, you would need to show me video of Senna hijacking a car. I'd need to see it with my own eyes. Right? But then if Senna is known for being dodgy and you've been arrested in the past for grand theft auto and whatever, then if someone comes like, hey, bro, I thought Senna boosted another car and Senna had nothing to do with it, right? I'm going to be like, hey, the Senna guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just going to be the default reaction because we know how corrupt the system is, right? So if someone comes like, yeah, this system is really corrupt, this is what they're doing. Like, okay, the reason everybody believes it is because there is actual corruption that goes on. That's the sad part about everything. Everyone just took it as gospel, just said, hey, bruh, yeah, I know this is true. I didn't see
this is it, dog.
I didn't see any normal citizen who jumped on the socials and said, no, guys, let's actually give the government the benefit of the doubt. Al Jazeera is just pushing an agenda. Hey, Njani. I didn't see any of that. All I saw
because we know our government, bro. We know these guys. Come on now.
Yeah. And then Jonathan he was the one actually who I did see he was saying, don't just believe everything Al Jazeera says. And someone responded and said, Brad, they're not going to let you back in.
Yeah, he's trying to get back in.
They're like, oh, just leave.
He's trying to get back in. Like it's cold outside, bro. He's been outside for what now? This is now It is cold outside. He's been outside for 4 years now, right? No, 5 years.
Ngiyakotola.
He's been outside for 5 years. He's watching his friends eat. That
Yeah,
other guy, what's his name? Kasukore. Didn't he go back? I think he went back.
I don't even know who it is, fam.
He was the guy who was sent away like with Jonathan same day during the war.
Ah.
So I think he's seeing all the
But yeah,
friends
you
chowing.
would have major FOMO if I got kicked out and then Senna comes to me with his new BMW X6 M competition, I'd be like, no, guys, actually, I'm so alright, so alright. Like let's sort this out. I'll fall in line. I'm not gonna talk shit about whoever, like whatever he did to get ousted in the first place. I would understand if the system is working. Like you don't mind being kicked out. Now I want to be watch, right? It's like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really things falling apart. But if the atom is functioning at high efficiency, bruh, and niggas is chowing, and at least we are ignorant. We don't really know the ins and outs of how this shit is going on. So it doesn't hurt that much at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just see the results, which is more poverty, right? That's the part we bitch and moan about. But if you're seeing, you go to the airport, upambane lo kuzen, lo konir, a petty suitcase coming off of EK713, and no, your chest, bro. Your chest is gonna be
Gold
tight.
Mafia, my guy.
Aye.
The one thing I will say is, if these guys are doing it in Zim, God knows what the guys at the ANC are doing, because I genuinely believe that whatever
Yeah, there's those
the
cronies
guys
as
in Zim
well.
are doing,
Yeah.
these guys are doing it at 10 times over.
You think
Like
10
I'm
times?
oh, definitely 100%. 100%. With all the mines here in SA. Bro, these guys are doing next level. Like Palapala, so Ramaphosa's Palapala thing was 600,000 USD, right?
Uh,
That was just for cows. He had cash in his house from just selling cows. Imagine what else these guys are selling behind the scenes. Dog, I'm telling you. I think if these guys dig deeper,
yeah.
you'll be shocked at some of the stuff that'll come out just across the continent in general.
Ish. 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 It's just, what I don't understand, and what honestly, what pissed me off is this stuff about this McAllen guy, this tobacco dude, bro. If he is bankrolling shit like that, and then you're the same government that rides on the coattails of we ended colonialism in XXX country, but like you're working with the same guys, right, that put us in this vice to now make money personally. I don't know, man. That just that really, at least I would honestly digest it better personally had it been a case of it's Zanu chowing, it's Zanu operation. Really, it's the Yobs, it's the crew, right? Okay, it's like okay, fine. We knew y'all were corrupt and y'all are eating, right? But then the fact that it's still these dudes at the top at the end of the day. Like and like you said, the fact that a lot of these guys have not left Zim. Yeah, some of their kids have left. Some of our colleagues, they're in Dubai, they're in Aussie, they're wherever. But the parents are where, fam? Parents are looking healthier than ever in Zim. In Zim, Emma Blazin. Nowhere to be seen. Like even if they buy a new Range Rover, nobody knows. Nobody sees that shit because beautiful setup, does whatever he needs to do, and
Exactly.
doesn't bother anyone. That's mad to me. That's the part that is I don't know. It just will not register. Where it's like, guys, you barely see Ilwa. Like barely. How old is him? What 40 years?
43 years.
43 years. It's not even the average lifetime of a human being, fam. And it was like, it's okay. We're in business. Where's like you're saying in SA, the SA I know is especially in terms of like white involvement. I know they're at peak. They I wouldn't even
Lit,
lie to you.
bro.
They
Next level.
them niggas are chowing there. I wouldn't even like. I think the day South Africans find out something at this level, woo shame. The country, yeah. I'd say Senna, you get on EK714 because I know that day would be peak in SA. Because I think I think the people have sort of been bullied into submission. I think we're at a point where something like this will come out, right? And we will be outraged. but it's just, we're in that abusive relationship where it's just okay. You know what I mean? Like it's just we know it's not right. It doesn't feel good, but it's like there's not enough people willing to end the cycle of abuse. And obviously, if it's just you, then bro, they'll get rid of you in 2 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
It needs to be, and obviously the one time the country did come together, they replaced, RG with I don't even know who to look at it. It's
Chomra.
bruh, it's Pete. Ever since that other one pulled up, and there's a friend of mine who posted on IG, reposted on IG a picture of him. I think he was like on top of a military tank. Because until there was a Kitela Masoch when
Kumbula that day
got ousted. Yeah.
Remember when the Hanis were taking pictures with soldiers?
And I'm just like, and my man was laughing at himself. He's like, if we only knew that day that we were signing up for even worse horrors, bro. Because people used to say there'll be that one person, when you're having these political discussions, right? Who are like, but guys, you understand that Bob is actually not the worst. Like he's actually like one of the leached owns, bro. Like it's worse, bro. This thing is rotten. And people are like, nah, really, no, we get rid of Bob. And that's it. We're free. And because we don't know the ins and outs of these things, we just assumed, and then chiggy, yay.
I think Bob was two things, right? I think he wanted ultimate power in the most cruel way, right? So he didn't give a fuck about your human rights, your right to freedom of expression. He just wanted to remain in power for his own selfish reasons. I'm not sure if from a wealth perspective he was eating in as much as he was allowing those around him to chow. I think he just wanted to be that guy. Like he wanted to be like Zimbabwe's god in a way, right? I'm not even sure like he
but it's the same now. What did he say? He said, Brian, the president is dying. Current president is dying in his post. And I'm just like, Yeah, he said it with bass in his chest. Said it with bass in his chest, like, hey, you guys understand which again, the average Zimbabwean will tell you, we've been known that shit. He ain't vacating that item, at least not for voluntarily.
He'll die in the presidency.
So if you're not vacating it voluntarily, then what does that mean? It's like literally you'll be president until your dying breath. I think honestly, my honest opinion in terms of politics in general, especially African politics, is that we need to start adding caps, bro. We cannot have anyone. I would say if you're over whatever retirement age is, 70 is retirement age for a builder or for Senna's dad and Tawa's dad, then it's the retirement age for a politician as well. Like there needs to be consistent rotation. We need to see some new faces. I know it won't solve a lot, but at the end of the day, at least we can't. I can't be seeing the same face, bro. Uti, we just came out. How long was Bob in power? 20 something years? What was it? I can't even remember. Was it even 30?
Bob.
Since independence, right?
Yeah, Bob was there 37. Right?
So now we're not even 37, fam. Yo, this is mad. Bro, 37 years. Uhlezi, dog. Uhlezi.
Bob was there for 37. Like, I think for him, right? For him, I'm convinced that the presidency was all about, for him, power, ruthlessness. I think he wanted to be the god of Zimbabwe, like second coming of Jesus Christ vibes. I don't even think he cared about the money in as much as these guys who are there now. I think these guys there now are chowing.
Yeah, no. It seems like there's been an aggressive movement towards making sure, like ever since he spoofed. I don't know. Like I feel like the corruption. Also, we were younger, so we were exposed to less information at the time. But we knew there was corruption in Zim, within ZANU and all that other shit. But it just didn't seem like it was the top layer. It felt like fear mongering was the top layer to a degree of what Senna is saying, right? But now it's not even about fear mongering, dog. I think the fear is not really there. It's more so like, bruh, like the number
there,
of
but it's not as bad, right? Remember back then when we're growing up. And you'd say anything negative about ZANU, and then you'd be told, shh,
Bruh.
Amasithena lalele.
No. The fear mongering back in the day was lit, bro. No.
Powerful, bro.
You
But
don't talk shit.
now I think they really don't give a fuck. Now they'll just eat the sheets and wear their scarves and move on with life.
This guy said wear their scarves.
But I remember when we were, I think it was a couple of days after your wedding, was Smokehouse, and then all these guys rocked up in their big cars. I think they were coming for like a trade fair or something.
About big black
in the you said that. And they rocked up with their big cars, and then they were wearing the scarves, right?
Yeah. Oh, and one thing that Nat did say that made me laugh was that, you know, again, guys, we need to have a moment. So that's a serious talk now, yeah? Mandebele. Lawu corruption, Sibi. Lawu corruption. Asi. Basithathile ilizwe. Sithathile umsebenzi. Lezi ndlu zethu. Asithathela le corruption. So really, what are we actually doing? What are we known for?
Hey, mina maphosa ngidane kabi angizwanga ngitsho lo yedwa usibanda bekungela Dube.
No. SP showed up, bro. I saw SP's name in the arrow, and Opit was on some document, and I knew. And I was like, nah. Opit really. I was like, financial crimes.
But he's been.
There's no way. I was like, there's no way Opit is not there. Like Opit is Siyama's. Benside's faith. Pensa is number one. So
when
yeah,
most of us chase. But no, like they were literally, and that's where you see Tina we're far.
Yeah.
Where we are far.
Yeah.
And we're not far for a lack of trying. The next time they try to make you feel like all the really people do is chai double up by that's not it. Those other guys are chowing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, bro. Like, who's a question that's just out here chowing ridiculous money? Like, no one is coming to mind. Again, guys, Addison, let us know if we're skipping someone. We apologize, but like, there's no Ndebele Chinimbi or who's this other Ern? He's got Sir something.
Wicknell.
Hey. Like, where are our Wicknells and Chinimbis? Like, who's, you know, the closest we had, again, he wasn't corrupt, he was a Premier League player, but it was Benjani. Niggas in skies were like, we want to hamaga Benjani. Like, that's the best
Benjani bought a hammer and it was news for days. I think about it now, right?
It's like, it's Benjani.
Like, he'd drive his hammer past CBC and owns Benjani.
Bruh. No. It's peak, bro. Like, again, this is an altar call to the residents of Bulawayo. Can you start getting into a little bit of corruption? This is unacceptable. We can't watch these things and we see Harare's dirty laundry. We can't. Like, all Bulawayo is known for is having that other hand was blowing impembe at Smokehouse. Like, that's the best that we have. That's the best that we have. And it's like, guys, I think
back in the day we had Sandra Ndebele as probably one of our most talented singers, and even she's running for ZANU-PF office.
Hey, I told you, I don't blame nobody who's running for ZANU. I don't blame it because it's like, the bread's there. The bread is there, right? So if you make it, you make it. So if you tune good, you know what, screw the morals, I'm going for ZANU, then hey, it is what it is. You know, God bless.
It is
and hopefully you secure the farms and the land. Because so we are worse thing on my loans. Because we my businesses. But all in all, Mr. Moy, this is to be in all seriousness, it is a catastrophic situation happening. I think episode 2 drops. What is it? Is it every Thursday or every Wednesday?
I'm not sure. I think last week it was on a Thursday or something.
Okay.
But then I think
probably tomorrow then.
Yeah, we'll see what one. But I'm almost out of time.
Okay. Yeah, let's wrap it up. I think we can move on. One thing that I did want to mention real quick though, shout out, big shout out to Usabelo, the big SB in the building. He and his family were vacationing on this side of the world. They pulled up. He hit me up with the most random DM ever. just to say, hey, bro, I'm here. And I was like, yeah, wait. It
Like
was,
checking your pad.
yeah, no,
That's
it
such a
was so,
Ndebele thing to do.
no, bro, like proper and really thing. And I didn't believe him because again, anyone who knows Sabelo on Twitter, he's a troll, right? So like, I was like, nah, first of all, you're messing with me, right? So he literally said location. I was like, oh shit, he's here. So we had lunch. My wife, my son, we had lunch with him and his family, his beautiful wife and kids. Like it was a really
That
good
sounds so
time.
wholesome. Do you mean
It
to
was
tell me that
wholesome.
he's not the toxic guy he portrays himself
Bro,
to be on the internet?
so disappointing. He's not. He's a family man, guys. Like I couldn't believe that shit. Out here he was like getting his daughter her toys and making sure. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck, like, bro. He
This is
hasn't
not what
even
I signed
cussed.
up
He hasn't cussed
for.
once. We've been here 1 hour. He has not said one single cuss word. And I was like, he hasn't talked no shit. So I was literally driving there. I was ready. I was like looking. I was listening to like Future. Say mask off, fucking mask. Well, I was ready, bro. I'm like, right. Toxicity is going to be on levels, levels. We're gonna look at our wives and have them serve us. This kisizandla type of. Nope, none of that shit happened. It was proper wholesome. He was sharing some of his food with his wife. There was no, hi, but baby, you always do it. Like it was literally just so, wholesome harmony, bro. And I was like, hi. Anyway, guys, never meet your heroes. I was well and truly disappointed. His tweets, like I read them, they don't touch the
They
same
don't
place they were
slap the same
touching.
anymore.
No, they don't slap the same. So I don't know what he's gonna do to change it, but yeah. But I mean, again, in all seriousness, it was an absolute good time. His wife is a huge fan of the podcast as well. So shout out to her. I will not reveal names because again, we are not that type of
Liashop.
pod. So Mrs. Sabelo, hey, shout out to you. We appreciate every single listen. So yeah, she loves the podcast, and that was I felt like she needed a proper shout out on the pod itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, shout out to the both of them and their kids.
Cool, cool.
It was
Do you
good.
want to,
It was good.
do a Siyazama before we go?
Do we
We
have one?
got just one. I think we have one.
Okay,
Or is this from last week Thursday? It is from Thursday.
so it is new technically.
It is new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, hey guys, Siyazama is the part of the podcast where we answer all your questions, get them in via email at 6footways@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Twitter. We are only on Twitter, and the handle is at 6footways. So it goes, hey guys, hope you're well. Thank you for the regular episodes. It helps get through the Friday mornings. Lingajwayeli because anytime zingakhala. Back again with another Siyazama. I've been living in the UK for close to 9 years now, and I've had enough. Between the crappy weather and the cost of living, a girl is tired. As we all know, our country isn't an option, as I'm not part of the Gold Mafia, and I've been thinking of trying out the UAE or SA. Just wanted to hear from you guys how you have found living in those countries. How is the quality of life, cost of living, salaries, etc. I'll take it away with regards to SA.
Okay.
SA, if you obviously if you have a critical skill, it's much easier to get a job here. If you don't, it's becoming increasingly difficult, just because labor laws are now strict, immigration laws are now strict.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely that people are willing to give out visas, especially to Zimbabweans, if you don't have a scarce skill. And especially if you didn't study here. If you studied here, it's a bit easier, but if you didn't, kuba nzima. But in terms of quality of life in South Africa, it's nice only in the sense that it's probably the quality of life is better than Zim, but at the same time you have that familiarity of many black people. The weather's nice. There's a bigger community. There's not much of a language barrier, and that makes it easier to assimilate. Salaries aren't as high as you'll get in most places in the world, but it's usually enough, to get by if you are, a decent professional. And it's like Tabo will attest. Everything isn't as expensive in South Africa as everywhere in the world, but if your salary is enough for your cost of living, you'll live fairly comfortably. But like I said, getting in is becoming increasingly difficult.
And I'll say for the UAE side, the Dubai side, because that's really all that matters. If you live in Abu Dhabi, You're just there for the sheets. We know. We just know Landi Lapa. I think Dubai is honestly, it's a great place. Honestly, it's a great place to live. Again, kind of like, well, different, opposite to what South Africa would be. Here it's just about getting the job. So if you find a company that wants you, then your residency is sorted. So relocating here is really not that hard. At the end of the day, if there's a company willing to sponsor you. Although if you're someone who does have skills, certain types of skills, maybe you're a project manager, executive assistant, marketing person, something like that, right? You can get you can look up what is called a freelancer visa, and that will legally allow you to work in the UAE as a freelancer. Whatever, photographer, these type of things. So if you have those type of skills, maybe look that up. That could be an interesting venture. I think in terms of quality of life is excellent. Obviously, if you're earning the right type of money. But yeah, quality of life here is great. The social life is great. There's so many things to do. There's always, people coming, international acts. There's all these crazy things that Dubai does all the time. For entertainment factor, because it is a tourist destination, you're connected to the rest of the world. The flight home is, you have multiple options. You can do Emirates, you can do Kenyan if you want to be cheap, Ethiopian. So it's a long flight, but again, you can get there relatively easily at the end of the day. And then obviously you have access to Europe, Asia, America. So it's a great place to be honest. It's a great place to be. Can't complain. So I think if you want to look into it, the research is all out there. There's articles out there. But yeah, best way to move is through a company. That's the best way and the simplest way for you to relocate. A friend recently relocated, got a job here with a company, and they, got her from where she was, and she sorted apartments, life, umnandi. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Short and sweet, just the way we like it. Mr. Moore, it's been a good one. We look forward to episode 2 of the Gold Mafia. It's bro. So my wife said something really hilarious. She's like, sometimes these things make you realize that we're just here who peg it is in life.
Yep.
I was like, yo,
yeah.
You've got a point, fam. You've got a point. But
we're not. Yeah. We're not here. We are just supporting cars for
bro. We're just to be extras. We're extras. We're the ones who run. Like New York, Godzilla shows up and people are running. We're those guys.
Yes.
We're just running around screaming. It's not us. It's not about us. Just enjoy the ride, guys. Enjoy the ride. Get a front row seat. And anyway, guys, like the ting, subscribe to the ting, retweet the ting, or else we're inclined to believe you is a hater. Mr. Moore.
Laters.